Everybody, if I can have your attention up here, I would like to introduce Travis Miller. He is the superintendent at Bayard Public Schools, and he was also our lead evaluator for our visit here over the last couple of days. He'll present our information for us today, and then he or the team will answer any questions you may have. So,
thank you. I guess I just start by saying thank you so much for the hospitality. You guys really rolled out the red carpet for us in the district, starting with the presentation by your school leadership team and Board of Education Wednesday night. We were knocked off our socks Wednesday night, and that continued for the next couple of days. We have been very impressed by the hard work that each and every one of you are doing in your district. Before I go on, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the hard work of the accreditation team, starting with Associate Lead Evaluator Dr. Caroline Winchester. I might just have you introduce yourself, and the rest of the team members introduce yourself. These experts have given their time away from their work. They're going to have mountains of work when they get back to their districts to do. So I'd like to have them recognized for their contributions.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm Dr. Caroline Winchester. I'm superintendent at Chadron Public Schools, and I too want to reiterate the thanks and the welcomeness that you guys have made us feel so welcome. Your students, every school district has a culture. It gives off a odor. Yours is tremendous. That's the only way I can describe culture. So just thank you very much for your wonderful hospitality, and such great things are happening. It's exciting, so thank you.
Well, a lot of you I know, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to serve on this team 3 times. That's how old I am. And I do see some familiar faces besides Brent's in this room, so that's a little reassuring. But I'm Paula Sissel from Garden County Schools. I'm currently elementary principal and superintendent. I just can't, you're going to hear glowing things, but typically I just want to say, for me, being the long-standing, almost tenured member, I'm just blown away by the evolution that your district has made. And the interviews with your parents and community and the class of education that your kid, I think we talked about that several times. Just you've really ratcheted it up, and you need to feel really good. Caroline made a comment to the leadership team, and you're responsible for this because we know administration can only do as well as what their teachers are, and obviously your parents and everyone talks about what great teachers you have and what great students you have. So celebrate your success because your hard work is really paying off. The marks that you're going to see are very high, and you need to really feel a strong sense of pride and take some time with your kids and each other to really say, good job. So thanks for letting us come.
I'm Tessa Frost, and I teach at Creek Valley, and I just want to say thank you for inviting us and welcoming us. It was a great opportunity, and I think all of us learned so many things, and I know I definitely am walking away with lots of things to take back to my district.
My name is Sarah Piper, and I am the Central Time Zone representative, the only, from St. Paul Public Schools. I'm the elementary principal there, and this has been very enlightening for me. This was my 3rd school visit or being on a team, and I have done a couple, one kind of in Central and one on the Eastern Northeast world, and so this is my first out west visit, and you guys have something special out here. And the parents talking yesterday had me convinced that I needed to come here and be a part of this. So congratulations.
I am Cheryl Ferrero. I teach 3rd grade in Bayard, and this was my first time being on a team, and I just want to say you guys have set the bar really high. So next time I go to a school, and be compared to you guys. So you've done a fantastic job here from elementary all the way on up. Thank you.
Again, I would just reiterate my appreciation to the members of our team. Thank you so much for your expertise, your hard work, and your commitment to really making sure we give full, thoughtful analysis to the work that you're doing here at Sidney. So again, to the team members, thank you. Let's see if this thing works. There we go. So I believe all of you are members of the school improvement process team here at Sidney. So you know that the AdvancED accreditation process is an international protocol committed to raising the bar and serving as a mark of excellence, in particular through building capacity of the institution to improve and sustain student learning and stimulating and improving the effectiveness and efficiency throughout the institution. Those are both things that at Sidney Public Schools you're really doing an excellent job at. I served on the team 5 years ago, and the capacity building that you've done in this district over the last 5 years is remarkable in terms of your ability to leverage the resources you have to meet the needs of the students in this district. To provide a balanced accreditation approach, we really look at the impact of teaching and learning. Your NISA scores, your ACT scores say it all in that area. Leadership capacity, this is an area that's really excelling at Sidney Public Schools right now. And then utilization of resources. So a little bit about us. As you know, we're professional peers doing similar work to the work that you're doing day in and day out. And our job was to determine the institution's effectiveness in meeting the requirements of accreditation. So the lens through which we look at Sidney Public Schools is the standards of accreditation, those 5 AdvancED standards, not our own experience in our districts or our training or our expertise. We look at your school district in light of or through the lens of those standards, and then provide analysis and evaluation, and then we'll provide feedback to you. We'll have 3 primary pieces of feedback today, and then you'll receive full reports in approximately 30 days. Interviews and observations. We completed interviews with 6 administrators, 33 teachers, 14 members of your support staff, 52 students, and 5 parents. And then we also completed effective learning environments observations. Sometimes you hear these called ELIOTs. That's the name of the tool, the Effective Learning Environments Observation Tool. And these are 20-minute classroom observations. And we conducted these in the middle school and high school. At the present time, those are the 2 buildings in your school district that are AdvancED accredited. And then the elementary, we didn't perform any ELIOTs, but we did get into each of the elementary buildings to observe the learning environment in those buildings. We'll have 2 slides that talk about the ELIOT ratings. And on the ELIOT tool, there's a 1 to 4 scale, with a 1 being not observed and a 4 being the highest level of implementation of each of a variety of learning factors. In terms of equitable learning environment at the middle school, we had a rating of 2.52. Anything above a 2 is really indicative of good quality practices. So these are ratings to be proud of. High expectations environment, 2.76. Supportive learning environment, you'll see that this is the high one. You really do a great job of wrapping your arms around your kids in this district. And this will be the same trend in the high school as well. You provide highly supportive environments for your students to learn. Active learning environment, a 2.88. The same for progress monitoring and effective feedback. You have well-managed learning environment. The behavior of the students in this district was commendable. Respectful, responsible young people engaged in learning. It was very impressive to see the way you support your students and appropriate behavior for them. And then the digital learning environment. This is the low rating number numerically, but this isn't anything to be ashamed of. The way the rating scales work, in order to earn 2s, 3s, and 4s, students need to be actively involved in using digital tools for evaluation, critical thinking, production, and research type of activities. So the kind of activity I'm doing right now, standing in front of you as a whiteboard, this would receive a 1, because you're not actively engaged in using the digital tools as the audience here. And so the same would be the case in a classroom, where if this is the kind of activity that was going on, you wouldn't receive any credit, so to speak, in terms of digital tool utilization, because it's the teacher using the equipment or the technology rather than the students. And this is typical for schools in Nebraska. And it also highlight that many times it's not appropriate for students to be doing that. There's other types of educational activities, so don't feel bad about that rating. It looks low, but it's nothing to feel bad about. So this is the high school, Elliott, 2.59 on learning environment, high expectations 2.8, supported learning environment. Again, this is the high one. You guys are really wrapping your arms around your kids as a district, and it's evident in what's happening in the classrooms too. So these are based on classroom observations. So the way you interact with, treat your students with respect, and they respectfully interact back, really came out in our observations. Active learning environment in the high school, 2.99, very high. Progress monitoring feedback, 2.56. Well-managed learning environment at 3.7. Actually, this one was higher in high school. And then again, that digital learning environment, not quite as high as the others for the reasons we've already talked about. This is what's called the Index of Educational Quality. This is a new tool through the AdvancED accreditation process. What this is a measure, an overall summary of the educational quality at Sidney Public Schools. This is on a 100 to 400 point scale. I want you to know right here, this line is a 200. Anything from a 200 over is meeting the standard. And so if you're on the right side of this line, you're meeting the standard. And so based on all of the evaluative criteria, you were at 303. That's exceptional. Teaching and learning impact, you were at 300, and that's standards 3 and 5, and the student performance evaluative criteria. So how your students are actually doing on the assessments and the teaching and learning, and then standard 5, that commitment to continuous improvement piece. Leadership capacity, standards 1 and 2, and then the stakeholder feedback, exceptionally high at 318. The capacity of leadership from the school board to the central administration to the building principals to teachers in the classrooms to paraeducators leading students in their ways, strong leadership across the district. You're really to be commended on your commitment to common goals, a common vision, and following through and really building that leadership capacity. And then we also have resource utilization, which would be standard 4. There was one area in standard 4 where your district received a 2 instead of a 3, so that brought this down a little bit at 286. That's still a great score. And I'll talk in a moment about that particular area, and the great news is you guys already have a plan to address it. So we evaluate based on the current status, but a plan's already existing to raise that up to a 3. Powerful practice. So this one's going to take a lot of wind for me to get out. We came up with one all-encompassing powerful practice that exists in your district. There's a deep sense of pride and commitment to excellence demonstrated by students, staff, administration, board members, parents, and community members. This commitment promotes a climate of professionalism, respect, and responsibility. The development of a district-wide instructional model is a reflection of this commitment to educational excellence. When we ask questions during our interviews, we would say, what's the best thing about the district? And we'd get answers like the staff, the students, my teachers, the principal, the kids, and the professionalism of the district. As a district, there's a deep sense of pride and commitment to what you're doing, and that just really came out during the visit. And then that culture to continuous improvement, where this district isn't resting on its laurels. You're moving forward. You've developed an instructional model to heighten the instructional capacity to meet the needs of the kids in your district. So, just the overall level of commitment and that culture that's leading to excellence is really a professional practice that other schools would do well to emulate. In terms of required actions, we have 2. The first one is to formalize an ongoing process for training professional and support staff members in evaluation, interpretation, and use of data to support learning, which includes mentoring, coaching, and induction programs to ensure consistency with the school's values and beliefs about teaching and learning. Kind of 2 parts here. The first is formalizing the process for developing increased knowledge in evaluation, interpretation, and use of data. You have high-quality measures. Distributing increased knowledge about the use of those high-quality assessments will take you to the next level and help you meet that next level on the standards. And then the same with the mentoring, coaching, and induction programs. Formalizing those processes will help ensure consistency. And when I think about the school's values and beliefs about teaching and learning, you have this wonderful culture of excellence. And if you're not intentional about mentoring new people into that, you run the risk of not continuing and growing that culture. So as you bring those newbies in, that's a great opportunity to help them continue to contribute to the excellence. Second required action, follow through on a continuously updated plan to upgrade the technology infrastructure to meet the teaching, learning, and operational needs of all stakeholders. In particular, one of the things that came out, actually visiting with the tech folks, was that they had an interest in upgrading the wireless capacity of the district. And that's something that is limiting, with that limited wireless access, limited opportunities to utilize the full power of the internet. But there's a plan in place to do that upgrade this summer. So this is an area that right now was a 2 out of 4. But I believe by the time you open the doors next August, you're probably going to be at a 3 or higher in your infrastructure. So, based upon our findings from the review, we're very pleased to recommend that Sidney High School and Sidney Middle School be accredited pending further review and final action by the AdvancED Accreditation Commission. So give yourself a round of applause.
And like I shared with your administrators, there's another required action plan, and that's to celebrate this wonderful news. So make sure they follow through on it. Let me know if they don't.
Kind of the nuts and bolts next steps. You've completed your external review. In approximately 30 days, the AdvancED office will send you the full reports for both buildings, and you'll also receive the frameworks reports for your elementaries. And then in June, the AdvancED Accreditation Commission will actually do the granting of accreditation. Our team makes a recommendation, and the organization in Alpharetta, Georgia, actually makes the accreditation decision.
You're kidding.
Is it?
Yeah. My son lives in Alpharetta.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
could go pick it up for the
In closing, on behalf of the team, we really would like to extend our appreciation for your hospitality, your support, your professionalism, our respect and acknowledgments of your efforts to improve quality. Those efforts are making a difference in your students' lives day in and day out. And finally, our congratulations to you. Good work. All right, are there any questions for members of the team? I imagine somebody's hosting a cocktail party tonight to celebrate. Any final thoughts from team members?
Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Mike.
Your hard work really is paying off, and all you have to do is talk to your kids, you know, and that's the greatest accolade you can get.
Thank you. Happy Friday afternoon.
Thank you.